Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in into the podcast for digital humanities from Froy and Leon. We started out covering a variety of topics, but later on decided that we should focus on the overarching theme of dystopian future and the topics listed here. So, well, let's get right into it. So, I want to start off with something that's really on the pulse of time, I'd say, which is the facial recognition and the face masks they're using to combat the facial recognition in Hong Kong. And I basically just want to showcase a few of the inventions they came up, because I just think, let me uncheck all these cookies every time, man. Oof.
A lot of cookies here.
A lot of cookies all over the
Are you
webs.
Are you on Business Insider?
I'm Business Insider, yeah.
Okay.
The first link. So basically, this facial recognition technology, maybe I can get it kind of looks like this, with the square around their face, and I think it's gotten really good. So they basically, what they're doing, they have a database of all their inhabitants, or maybe even of all the people who've ever been just captured by the facial recognition software there. So they have a ton of people on their data. And I'm sure what they're also doing is they basically link the recognized face data to like a unique
Other
ID.
places.
Like a unique ID. So basically, if they recognize your face, it's not like face X, Y, or number face. I mean, yeah, it has an ID, but it's also linked to, well, yourself. So my face would be linked to me specifically, so that they can, well, infer our data from that, like social credit score, or they can put you in jail if they catch you on these cameras doing, well, bad things, or like bad things in quotes and quotes, because apparently it's illegal to be protesting in Hong Kong, and it's illegal to wear facial recognition masks. So even if they record and catch you do this, you're kind of screwed, I guess. So that's why these protesters come up with these facial recognition masks to avoid being caught, right?
I'm looking at the Business Insider article right now, and I'm scrolling down, and I see there's like multiple variants of these masks. They have different kinds of ideas, and
so the one that caught my eye was this one. I think it's Eminem wearing it. I'm not sure. It looks like Eminem, so it's probably Photoshop or something. And
which one? The one from the side?
The one from the side where he wears the hoodie.
It looks so dystopian.
It looks really dystopian, and honestly, it looks kind of cool, to be honest with you.
Looks like a cyborg.
If you're into sci-fi, it looks kind of cool, I guess. But yeah, it basically takes this glass or plastic kind of thing, which just has these jagged edges. Like it has like these.
It's curvatures.
Curvatures, exactly. And it's called the Civilians Exclusion Mask by Jip van Leuvenstein, who is a Dutch
person. Wow,
shout out to Jip. While he was a student of the Utrecht School of the Arts in the Netherlands.
Interesting.
So, not sure if it's actually being used or if it's just an art project. Probably the latter, probably. But I mean, if it works, people could use it.
Right.
And then we also got this. I mean, this is kind of outrageous, right? It looks really creepy, in my opinion. Also, Dutch design students. I'm not sure why the Dutch, they seem really... I mean, we're in business.nl, but still, apparently the Dutch seem to be
that makes sense.
Really at the forefront of technology from time to time, more often than not. And, well, here we got a Dutch design student who invented a projector that superimposes an image of a different face over that of a wearer. Which looks so creepy, man, right?
It looks really weird. So it's basically this elastic band, which has this kind of projector kind of thing on top. Yeah. And it'll overlay another like digitally created face over your own face.
It's basically like a Snapchat filter in real life, but less funny.
That's it.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm wondering what, like, what kind of face are you using to project onto your face, and is the facial recognition camera then picking up that face? Like, I mean, if I were to project your face and on my face and I did some stupid shit in Hong
that would
Kong,
be weird.
And then you would be, responsible because the camera thinks it's your face. That would be
messed up.
That would be pretty messed up, yeah.
But I think because when you look at the images, you can see some of these displays. They're kind of like off in a way. Like I see eyebrows on someone's forehead, so
it looks like multiple faces at once. That's why it looks so really goddamn creepy. It scares me actually, but it says underneath the pictures. I don't want to really pronounce his name, but I'm just trying to. Ying Kai Liu, maybe?
Yeah.
Created a wearable face projector. A small beamer projects a different appearance on your face, giving you a completely new appearance.
Oh wow, wait.
This went viral last month after misleading tweets claimed it was being used by protesters in Hong Kong. This claim was later debunked, so they are not using it in Hong Kong. I guess this is also just another art project, just like
at
the
the
first
same
one.
time, when I think about these protests, from what I've seen, it may be a little bit impractical, also like to use inside actual the kind of arena that they are in. It looks also like maybe hard to produce. Not sure.
It's like a war zone they're in, like a. So it looks really flimsy. So I feel like the thing that's poking out, the black thing would probably just break off at some point. If you're getting shot with tear gas in your face. And then we also got a Japanese college professor. Goggles fitted with LEDs that fart. I'm not sure what that word is, but it's against facial recognition.
It basically just disrupts.
And what he's basically doing is he puts, what I've seen online as well is these Hong Kong protesters are using laser pointers.
Right.
To shoot at these facial recognition cameras to distort them.
Okay.
And basically what he's doing is, I've got actually a video here as well. But they're sort of using a lot of laser pointers to mess up the images the cameras are recording. And what he's basically doing is just putting a lot of laser pointers right onto your face. And he also shows that it seems to be working. So
is he able to see anything, or do you think he's?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah.
Also looks really like futuristic.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just the time we're in right now. Okay.
Interesting.
And then we got some scarf people. But I think that's alright for this article. I think we went over enough of these facial recognition.
There's basically a lot of ideas for...
A lot of ideas. And you don't really need to get so complicated, because people are also just putting Winnie the Pooh, like they're wearing Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, simple any mask will basically...
Yeah, exactly. So
that's the mask idea already.
I mean, I'm seeing a lot of pictures with anonymous people wearing these anonymous masks.
Right.
And it looks scary and kind of cool as well. Like it just looks really... Well, it looks cool, but it's kind of sad at the same time. Because it's in real life and not only in a movie, but it looks like it's out of the movie.
Right.
And we have people here wearing Pepe the Frog and Winnie the Pooh, which is kind of funny,
internet
right?
Culture, right?
Yeah, that's internet culture. Especially Winnie the Pooh is kind of getting related to what's his name? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Xi Jinping. So that's kind of funny by itself.
I named him now, so I'm probably banned from China for life.
Exactly. I think we both won't get into China anymore. Well, maybe that's not too bad of a thing after all. Okay. Well, the next thing I want to talk about, also within this theme of dystopian future, would be the WeChat.
WeChat.
The WeChat.
Super popular.
Super popular.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame you if I haven't heard of it if you lived outside of the of China or Asia, because European people don't use it at all. Because we have WhatsApp, or at least the Europeans have WhatsApp. I think Americans still use text quite a lot.
I think a lot of Asians outside of China use WeChat as well. I've seen it like I don't know. I've seen it in my university.
I mean, it's quite really huge, right? So,
right.
And the cool thing about WeChat is that's not only WhatsApp, but it integrates all kinds of different features. It's like the one-stop shop app because you can.
It's like is it like Facebook as well? Like, is it like a social media kind of thing?
Yeah. So it's
not just chatting.
Exactly. So it's a messenger, and it's Facebook, and it's Amazon, and you can pay with it, and you can play games on it. 10-cent games from Tencent, and so it's basically an app which tries to be everything, and it is in China. So you can pay with it, as said. So it's your payment system, and well, I'm gonna Google it real quick, and all your WeChat Pay. All your social media goes over it, all your gaming, basically everything, your whole digital lives seem to be handled over WeChat.
If we are already having problems with like letting go of social media, the equivalent there would be it's either you take it all or you don't have anything.
Leave it. Exactly. Which is quite insane. Yeah, you're right. That's basically, we could link it to the discussion we had in class. And yeah, you do everything with it, it seems, because it also has this mini apps or super apps, they call it, and these are little applications within WeChat. So different companies can add features. And the problem with WeChat is now that it also gets used by the Chinese government.
That's the article, right?
Yeah, that's the article, to intercept messages and to read your stuff, and well, to base your social credit score on who you write, on where you pay with WeChat, because it's owned by Tencent, and this is like one of the biggest companies in China. And
these big companies, they all work with the government, right? They have all these,
at least that's what the article says. So I guess you have to take everything with a grain of salt, but I wouldn't be too surprised if it's true.
So these people are getting their chat spied on, maybe, or is it getting censored? What is the thing?
It's getting spied on. That's the biggest problem. And here we have a little excerpt. Chinese American human rights activist Su Fengxiu, maybe, says he will continue using WeChat in spite of its vulnerabilities. And here's a quote: "I have to use it to communicate. I just have to know what's going on in China," he says. So yeah, just as you said, it's actually really smart. He's forced to use it, even though he's apparently very well educated about what's going on, he still has to use it. So yeah.
I can see there's this like little excerpt as well. Wait, where was it?
Let me quickly interject. Chinese cyberspace is one of the most surveilled and censored in the world. That includes WeChat, owned by Tencent, one of China's biggest companies. The chat meets payment app has more than 1 billion monthly users in China and now serves users outside the country too, although it doesn't divulge how many. Researchers say its use abroad has extended the global reach of Chinese civilians and censorship methods.
Wow.
So yeah. Every day, millions of WeChat conversations held inside and outside China are flagged, collected, and stored in the database connected to public security agencies in China, says our researchers. So, yeah, there we go. What did you want to say?
I can't find the exact part here, but I saw somewhere that there's these keywords. Oh yeah, here.
Keywords?
There are certain keywords that are automatically like flagged in the system.
Yeah.
They will automatically pick it up, and
Tencent created an extraordinarily advanced censorship algorithm that automatically identifies combinations of keywords and messages in online articles. Yeah.
So yeah, that'll make it harder for certain, any counterparties or any people that are not in the same boat as the Chinese government wants them to be.
Yeah, that's so crazy, right? So basically they could just add 2 keywords well, everything you have to say against the government or against leaders gets filtered. So you basically, if you're trying to chat about it, you just can't. Basically.
Yeah, you would have to
use another app if that's possible.
Yeah, if
right?
that's possible. Yeah.
If that's possible. If the internet in China allows to download, I mean,
that's also a thing.
I'm not even sure if they're allowed to access Google Play services. Not really, right? I don't even think they have YouTube over there.
I think YouTube is banned. I'm not sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there's all these people just using their VPNs.
Yeah.
So it's probably banned. I'm not sure. But
it probably is banned. I think YouTube isn't available in China. Would surprise me if it was. So yeah. They're kind of locked into this WeChat system. And the problem with that, and I think I'll just go over to the next article here.
Yeah.
It's actually two, and it's two YouTube videos.
You can just play it a little and talk along with it.
Maybe we'll should just show the first 2 minutes of this video because I think it's
sure.
And then go from there. I'm talking about a look inside China's social credit system, NBC News show.
Yeah.
Have you clicked on it already? Because I'll start.
I have.
Now. Okay, let's go.
Start.
So, picture your life in a place where everything you do, what you buy, how you behave, is tracked. The government gives you a score, and the score is a measure of how trustworthy you are as a citizen and determines what you're allowed to do, like ever. Boarding a train, getting a mortgage, all goes back to this score. It's called social credit. It sounds like that show Black Mirror, but it's actually happening in China. So how does that change you? Does it change you? What does your life look like when your every move is watched? The system's eyes are in big data, artificial intelligence, and roughly 200 million surveillance cameras.
200 million? All over the place.
And that's totally fine with Ouyang Haoyu. She's 21, graduated from a good school with solid grades. She's diligent. She's nice. No surprise, she's a 752.
Look at that.
That's her rating with Sesame Credit, a private
Score?
company
I'm a
working with the
752, and what are
government
you?
on the algorithms for the social credit system. The scores go from 350 to 950 and are based on habits and behavior. Buy clothes or diapers, it's good. A lot of alcohol, too many video games, not so good.
Not so good.
Haoyu's 752
Wow.
puts her in model citizen range and gets her discounts and privileges, like using a shared bike without a deposit. She likes it. Her friends do too. They all have pretty high scores.
It's a mechanism like pushes you to become a better citizen, to build on the trust, especially on the Chinese market.
Because you're in that.
Okay, I think we can stop here.
Yeah.
I
first off like to start really quick. There's this Black Mirror episode. Do you know Black Mirror?
Yes.
Black Mirror is basically a series that talks about these technologies and how these would incorporate into society. Are these new technologies things that we actually want in our lives? And there's this one episode in which they revolves around a girl, and in her life, their ratings are everything. So people you interact with, you can give them a rating. The higher your rating is, the more accessible things in her life become.
Yeah.
So certain loans or like flights, they need a certain rating. And it actually is really, really resembling this what we've seen just now.
Is it the episode called Nosedive?
It's called Nosedive, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy that it's like already, it's now, even though Black Mirror was supposed to be this sci-fi idea.
To be fair, I think this idea of the social credit system got introduced in 2015, or like even earlier. I said it because the second video I've linked in the Google document, Well, there was one. Sorry, the article I've linked, the first article, the Volkskrant, the Dutch article. it talks about how China rates its own citizens, including online behavior. And the article is published in 2015. And the episode is aired in October 2016. So it could very well be that Black Mirror actually just based their episode on the Chinese credit system, right?
Perhaps, yeah.
But yeah, it's still what you're saying still holds.
This all links back to the previous topic we talked about, because it's all kind of interlinked within the same framework.
Yeah, so basically, this girl who got like featured in an episode, obviously she's fine with the whole system because she's born into a moderately. Basically, she got lucky, right?
And
has a score of 752 or whatever, and everything is fine. But if you just want to be a human for a while, you know, have some fun, I guess. You know, it immediately deducts your score if you go out partying or do something that's not profitable for China itself, right?
It's also about their the idea of the government of what is good and what is not.
Yeah, exactly. They put a number.
They put a label on what you can do.
They put a label on things. They put a label basically on life and what life is supposed to be. And well, if you think your life is supposed to be fun and based around hedonism instead of always working hard and being this model citizen, well then you're kind of screwed in China, I suppose. And that's just crazy to think about. And especially in this, I'm not sure if it was the first or the second video, they also show how it's done in smaller cities or smaller villages, and they basically like imagine a rural China village. That's where they tested out the social credit system before they implemented it into these bigger cities of Hong Kong, etc. And they started out with multiple people called information collectors. And these information collectors, like, they were literally just human beings walking around and noting down stuff they see about other people on their notepads. And,
really?
Yes. And then they give their notes to some other person sitting in front of a PC, and she basically, or he, grades the actions of the people, and with that calculates your credit score.
Imagine someone having a bad day. And
or imagine doing 50,000 good things, no one sees it, and then you do one shitty thing, and this information collector sees it, and you're screwed. You know, it's so stupid.
Absurd, yeah.
It's crazy dumb, and yeah, it's. Whew.
I'm reading here in the Poltkrant article.
Mm-hmm.
They have this service, this credit there, or reflects someone's like basically their worthiness, their reliability, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not only. It's not determined by just your hobbies. It's also determined by the kinds of friends you have. So if friends have a poor reputation.
Very good point.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's like, imagine you have had a very low score and I had a high score, right?
Or reverse.
Yeah, or reverse. More likely, maybe. But then we meet to hang out because we're friends, and then one of our scores goes down just because we're like seen in the general vicinity of each other, or like not even seen, but our GPS data shows it or whatever, you know. So it basically. It doesn't only look at your actions and then calculates a score based on your actions, but it also determines your future actions because you want to be good in the score. So,
and it goes further with all the things such as in the video they said, like, isn't it with traveling and like getting loans, those kinds of things?
Exactly.
Buying a house.
I think I've seen one video. I've seen multiple videos. I've not linked them all in this Google document, but I've seen a video where one of these guys who had like a decent score spoke out against this credit system publicly, and as such he got like a very low score, which made him quote unquote blacklisted. I think that's what it's called. And if you're blacklisted, I think you're not allowed to book flights outside of China anymore.
You're just stuck there?
I think something along those lines. he definitely, because he got blacklisted, he got denied access to a lot of things like buying things online or like booking online flights, because it all goes over this WeChat or like similar apps, right? So if you have a low score, they just block you or ban you from these actions. So if you get like blacklisted.
Okay, so I just Googled it, the social credit system, and on the very amazing source of Business Insider again. So some people had their flights cancelled, their high-speed trains cancelled, because they were on the blacklist.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, exactly. Yeah.
I feel like it could only spiral downward from there on. Like you either keep up in the same routine as they want, or you're just screwed.
Yeah, I mean, now that we're kind of nearing the end of this dystopian future thing, where is China going from here? You know, like, I guess the protests are a really good thing to start out with. Thank God there are people in Hong Kong. I mean, being strong enough and deliberate and well, having the motivation to go out and protest against such things. I guess they're not really protesting against the social credit score, but moreover about Hong Kong's right to protest and about their independence from China. But I guess it's still kind of a start, right? Because where will China go on from here?
I think it's a really brave thing to do, right?
Yes.
You have this huge opponent, but the entire system is rigged.
This huge opponent, which seems undefeatable, right? If you're just a citizen by yourself.
So yeah, that was that, I think, for our articles on
dystopian future. I'm not sure what else to say about that, because it is what it is, I guess, and we don't have too much influence as outsiders on this crazy stuff, and I bet we don't know everything that happens anyways, because it's also censored, and we can just speculate about what else is all going on. Okay, should we talk about loot boxes or anything else? Because we're 45 minutes in actually right now.
Are we 45 minutes in?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Oops.
Well, what do you think? We can... We don't have to, right?
I think we should skip the loot boxes.
Yeah, it would be
a bit too long, and it's outside of the spectrum of what we just talked about, I think.
Right.
It's a bit of a stretch to go over to loot boxes. Yeah. Should we end it here then?
Yeah, let's round it up. That's fine.
Okay, well, I would just say thanks everyone for listening.
And thank you.
I hope you enjoyed. I hope you listened to at least some of what we've been saying. And I guess that's it for us.
Yo. It's kinda hard to stay calm with all this talk of A-bombs. I can't really ignore it, what with Donald taunting K. Jong. And since nuclear war is now basically quite imminent, I'm wondering if you'll join me in this basement that I'm living in. It's got accommodations, as amazing as a bunker. We can hunker down and face an Operation Rolling Thunder. I'm stacked on games in case we want to play and never slumber, and got snacks for days so we don't waste away from our hunger. This is an exclusive invitation, only for the few I'd like to stay with if our days are ever numbered. As a human race, I mean, our population was encumbering this earth in any case, so in a way this really may not be a bummer. A nuclear apocalypse, when it's over we can hunt for oxidants and fuel to take a rocket ship to space from the waste of a once beautiful metropolis, just stocking it with things that are useful, like chocolates? Or maybe oxygen would be smarter. Actually, I'll stick to chocolates. And honestly, I'm not exactly sure what has me more scared. It's kinda strange, but I fear climate change as much as warfare. With oceans rising, all the coasts will find themselves submerged, and I don't think the current government has shown enough concern. We've got researchers waving publications in dismay as our leaders keep taking our nation to its grave. So when it comes time to find a place in which to stay, like I mentioned earlier, my bunker basement's pretty safe. In a worst case scenario, an earthquake might bury you, but otherwise I've kept track of every single variable. If temperatures get crazy, my AC will keep us very cool. If oceans rise, guys, we're waterproofed. And I've got a tube that runs about the room a couple 100 feet into the air. My neighbors think that I'm a kook, but there's no being too prepared. So whether it gets hot out or we face nuclear fallout, if you hear this, for you I've got a few feet of room to spare.